Hello, and welcome to another edition of Tech Tuesday presented by Delta Media Group, where, try as we might, we just can't seem to figure out how King Kong got to be the same size as Godzilla, right? Because, King Kong climbs buildings. Godzilla is buildings. I don't know. So, today we are going to take a look at something a little unconventional for a Tech Tuesday, but specifically a third-party integration and how you can set this up. So we're actually going to look at our Burbio third-party integration, and what this allows you to do is create a page that can be populated with event information from a specific community or a specific region. And you have a fair amount of control over what you post per page based on what access you have at Burbio or what communities or community data the API key from Burbio or the token you get from Burbio has access to. So I know that all sounds very technical, but we'll clear it all up here. So first off, the way these are implemented is you create a custom page and then you can put an event widget or an event section basically on that page, and that'll populate with your event data. Now the nice thing about doing it this way is it allows you to control the other content on that page or kind of fill out the rest of that page with whatever other information you want. If you wanted to build this out as just showing events as a part of kind of a community landing page. So yeah, you have a lot of freedom as far as what you can build using this functionality. So let's take a look at how it works. So if we go down, right now we're logged into the DeltaNet and I'm just on the dashboard page here, but I'm going to go down to website and pages because I'm going to create a custom page. And now because this is DeltaNet 6, I could also type pages up here in this quick actions bar, or the little search field here, and then pages would come up in the autocompleter and I could click on that to then get to this page, so just a nice shortcut to get to your page management page in the DeltaNet. So to set up a new page, now I could click on any of these pages in the page list to bring up the editor over here for that page if I wanted to modify an existing page. But in this one, we're just going to create a new one. So new page. There we are. And now we have all the standard options available with all the custom pages, and we have some videos that go over each of these tabs in detail. But in this case, we want to be on the custom page tab. You can choose to add a contact form or not. Use these options up here. Again, these are explained more completely in the video that covers the creation of custom pages. However, we are just going to add in a Burbio widget. So what I'll do here is say this is a page dedicated to community. Let's pretend that that's the name of a community. And this is just to demonstrate that I can take the top of this page and I can fill in whatever text or whatever content I want there. Below this, I could add a picture, I can put in links, I could embed a YouTube video, I could put it in image gallery. So, there's a lot of things that I can do with this editor to really build out the content. Then when it comes to actually putting in that Burbio event display, I'm going to click on this guy right here. This is basically the custom variable insert tool. So I'm going to click on this, and you can see we have numerous options here. But the one I'm most interested in is the Burbio Community Calendar. So we're going to click on that. You can see it brings up this interface. Now the first thing it asks for is the Burbio Token. So what this is the token or the API key that you get from Burbio. So as part of your Burbio setup, you would contact them and they would be able to send you that information. Once you have it, you just paste one in here and then click Validate. So that has validated the token, basically ensured that there is data there. And now, if we go down to Select a Community, now keep in mind, in order for this Select a Community drop-down to work at all, or to have anything in it, you do have to have a valid token up here. So that has to be entered first, click Validate, and that's what makes the tokens, or the communities, show up in this drop-down. So these are all the communities that my token has access to. So I'm just going to pick one at random here. So this is the community we'll go with. It's going to grab all the event information related specifically to that community and then display it in this section where this kind of custom variable goes in. And then we'll call this RY Community Events. And this is going to be how that kind of widget gets labeled on this page. And now we'll insert widget. So you can see it drops this code in the page. And then the other nice thing about the way it drops this code in is that I can choose where it appears in relation to everything else that I put on this page. So if I had an embedded video and a photo gallery, even a search results section embedded on this page, where this code is where that events widget is going to appear in relation to those other items. So that's kind of the nice thing. You can really have a lot of control over how you build this page out. Or you wouldn't have to put in any content. You could just drop this in, and then the only thing on this page will be this event display. All right, so once we're all set up here, and you have all your content built out the way you'd like, the rest of the options here are just the same options if you were building out any other custom page. So we'll give it a link title. I'll just call this one Rye Event Calendar, just so that I can find it in my list later on, if for no other reason. I'm not going to add this one to my navigation because we just kind of want to see what the page looks like. We'll make our page title the same, and for the purposes of this, I'm just going to leave the meta description and all this other stuff out. What I will do, though, is I'll give it a custom URL. So we'll call it Rye Events. And there we are. So once you've chosen all these options and filled all these fields out to what you want to use for this page, we'll just go down here to the bottom and submit. There we go. Now our page has been created, so right here is the URL of that page. Now, normally, you can just click this link right here, and that'll open up your page. However, on this demo site, I'm just going to have to go straight to the page. So I'm just going to copy that. We'll go over here to my agent site. We'll give it a moment to take my request under advisement, and here we are. So now you can see that this page has automatically been populated with all this. This is what this event display looks like. So there is my title that I added in when I added the display in. You can see all of the events that it loaded out, so it's a it's a pretty serious section. So I'd say if you are building out a page with additional content, it's going to depend a lot on what community you're looking at as to how many events will be here. But what you may want to do is put all of your content above the event display, just knowing that with an event display that runs this long, not a lot of users are going to find their way all the way to the bottom of it all the time. So put your custom content, your community-related content up here above the event display, depending on how many events there are. But this is what you have. This is what you build out for this event display. So any of your content above or below it, and then the actual event display here. I can now search this by a date. So if I were looking for events that took place on, let's say April 10th, I can just click there and select that. There we are, and you can see that it brings me up just all the events on April 10th. I can then expand any of the events, and I wouldn't have to filter it to a day to do that, but I can click expand, and that expands any of these events to give me more information about those. And also there's an additional link in here that I can use to view the site, and it takes me over to the actual community website where that data came from and what's related to that data. So there you have it. That is how you can set up a Burbio community or Burbio community events display on one of your custom pages. You could also set one of these up on your home page if you'd like, though typically from an application standpoint, to get the most out of this, what we suggest you do is put together a custom page that's just displays a link to all of your different event pages, or all of your different community pages rather, and then you can click on that link to go out to a custom community landing page that you've created for each of these that includes the events on it. So that builds out additional content on your website, and also kind of focuses on that whole hyper-local mentality that really conveys to your customers that you are an expert in that area and you're an expert in those communities. So it's a very handy thing. Also, because these events are always being updated and staying up to date, it drives repeat visitors to your website because even if I'm not necessarily in the market to buy or sell a home right now, I may come back to your website just to get my update on the events that are coming up in a community that I'm interested in. And that traffic will always help you out as far as search engine ranking and just the general value of your website. So there you have it. As always, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to send an email into support@deltagroup.com or give us a call, and I will see you again next week.